This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever think about switching insurance companies to see if you could save some cash? Progressive makes it easy to see if you could save when you bundle your home and auto policies. Try it at progressive.com.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Remember the Game. It is my retro gaming podcast where every week a buddy of mine and I sit down and we geek out about the games we played back in the day. My name is Adam Blank. Thank you so much for listening to the show. And this week it is episode 374, and it's a big one because we're talking legends around here. And I don't mean those bitchy elemental birds that are so fucking hard to catch, but rather the video games they appear in Pokemon FireRed and LeafGreen for the Game Boy Advance. Just quick, too, disclaimer, if I sound stuffier and more nasally than normal, Mother Nature used pollen, super effective. I hate spring. I'm so allergic to everything that happens in the spring. So I apologize if I sound worse than normal. I've been wanting to get to these games for a while now. I definitely intended to get to them someday. When Nintendo added them to the Switch a few months ago, I was like, all right. That's probably the excuse I needed. I haven't played a Pokemon. Fuck, what's the last Pokemon I mean, Legends Arceus or whatever it was called. I didn't like Legends as much, though. I didn't care for Legends. Before that, it was Sword Shield. It's been quite a while since I played a Pokemon. We haven't reviewed one on the show here in about 170 episodes since we covered a mainline Pokemon game. So I was like, all right, it's time to go. Let's go catch some animals for that weirdo Oak and trap them in balls and only let them out to fight and blah, 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 blah. So if you don't know, these ones are the remakes of the OGs, which intrigues me because, as I've said many times, Gen 1 is my Pokemon forever. Like, I'm 42 years old. I grew up with Pokemon Red, Blue. I frankly don't know that much about the series. If you're like a diehard Pokemon fan and this is your first episode of RTG, please listen, please enjoy, but also please be gentle. I don't know very much about Pokemon. I don't know about how, the glitch with the rock candy and Missing Go banging the Weeping Bell in the daycare to create a fucking execute with no yoke in it or whatever the fuck. I'm a very casual Pokemon player. But Gen 1 has always been my favorite until I finally played Gen 2, which then became my favorite a couple of years ago. I have so much nostalgia for the first generation of this game. Blue, specifically, not red. That was the copy my brother had, and thus it's vastly inferior to the superior Pokemon Blue. So I was very excited to see how FireRed and LeafGreen kind of modernized the classics. And when I say modernized, they're still 22 years old because we're all old as fuck. And I will agree with anyone that says that Pokemon FireRed and LeafGreen are really the definitive way to play Gen 1 Pokemon. Do I prefer them to my precious Pokemon Blue and the somewhat inferior Pokemon Red? Well, you're going to have a listen and find out. So my guest this week is my rival, not just in Pokemon, but in life. Remember the Game pending Hall of Famer and co-host of our Simpsons podcast, Purple Monkey Dishwasher, the one and only Mark McHugh. And I'm actually recording this intro before we do the game chat, which is not the way I normally do these. So I have no idea what he said. But I'm assuming he said something, and we're going to get into all that in this Pokemon talk in just a few minutes, because speaking of saying something, it is in fact time for another edition of the Remember the Game infamous intro. Dun, 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 dun! And if you're new to the podcast, welcome aboard and consider this your warning. Listen, our intros are kind of long. They're not that long, they are kind of long, but they're fun. We talk video games and stuff. It's a good time, and no HM slave is necessary to skip them if you want to. You just take the little slider on your phone, put it to the 30-minute mark. You'll be into Pokemon talk. You don't have to listen to the intro. You're laughing. You're the aces. You're living your best life, okay? Or listen to the whole thing, which is what I would recommend. If you want to skip this part, though, go ahead, because I need like 90 seconds to do my plug. This is how we keep our bills on around here. We have a Patreon, and I plug it every week because it's how I pay my bills, and it's pretty much the lifeblood of the show, and it's about the greatest deal in the history of the internet. Second greatest. I would say the Mass Effect Legendary Edition, whenever it goes on sale for like $5, is the greatest deal in the history of the internet, but we're number 2, because our Patreon starts at as little as $3 a month, and we publish 4 additional shows most most weeks. None of them have any ads in them. And like I said, you can start listening for as little as $3 a month. Not only can you listen to a bunch of shows, but you can also write into the podcast. You can vote on the games we cover. You can join our 1,000 plus. I don't know if it's 1,000 or 15. I think it's over 1,500. I know it's over 1,000 plus member Discord. And the minute you sign up for our Patreon, you will get instant access to literally hundreds upon hundreds of archive bonus podcasts that I've been doing for basically the last 7 or 8 years now. Plus, I stream Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Mountain for our patrons as well, so you can come by and check those out. And in addition to all those things, you also get a shout-out and get to hear me mispronounce your name like I'm going to do to a couple of these people. A huge thank you to our newest patrons, Brian Stoll, Stoll? I'm reading that like Jarrett Stoll. That's what it looks like to me. ResKid93, Saul, Michael Barjudina, CB Baconator, Cloudberry Jam, Affacapt, Jordan, Anthony. I don't think it's Anthony. It looks like it's Anthony Hayden. That sounds like a mafia name. Anthony. The Pope of Chili Town, Craven Allen, Matthew McCarthy, I am Mr. Carlos, and Rusher84. Thank you all so much for the support, and welcome to Remember the Game Industries. Find all of that at patreon.com/rememberthegame. Like I said, it starts at $3 a month. There's some free episodes over there if you want to see how it works. We offer annual subs that'll save you your 12th month, and we donate some of it to charity every winter to the Stollery Children's Hospital here in Edmonton. So it's basically the best thing you could do with $3 of your money. And I gotta quickly sneak it in. Our Royal Rum Poll, our inaugural Royal Rum Poll started May 1st. All through the month of May, I'll be adding a new video game to our poll every single day until all 30 games have entered. Any day that a game ends the day with less than 15% of our community vote, it is eliminated. Last game standing gets an episode of RTG. It's gone out. We had entry number 6 today, which was Halo 3, was entry number 6 into the Royal Rum Poll. It's going awesome. It's been really fun. So if you want to partake in all that stuff, patreon.com/rememberthegame. That's enough blowing myself. That's all the plugs. Let's start blowing some of you by blowing in some cartridges. It is our opening segment here on the show. I read a few comments and questions from our Patreons, usually gaming related, but not always. And we call this segment Blowing in the Cartridge.
He blows all right. He blows big time.
That's it, honey. Get into the spirit.
Let's blow. Our first blower this week is Paul Jacobs, who said, "Hey, Adam, I've been listening for years trying to catch up on your massive backlog. I believe I'm at episode 175 now. As I begin to make an 8-hour round trip to see my mother before her open heart surgery, I can stay calm knowing that I'll have amazing episodes of your podcast to keep me company. Thank you for everything you do." Paul, shout out to, I don't know when you'll hear this. If you're at episode 175, you're 200 episodes behind. 8-hour road trip is 8 episodes. That puts you at episode 183. That still leaves you. You'll probably hear this in about 2047. I hope your mom, I was going to say kills it. And I really don't mean that as like a pun or a slip, like, oh, I just hope your mom crushes it. I hope everything goes great. That's not how I meant it. She's good. Your mom's great. I'm sure your mom crushed it. Thank you for the support. Thank you for listening. And best wishes to Mama Jacobs. Your mom's going to be good. She'll be fine. Brandon DeZeba said, "Hello and happy spring, Hot Dog King. Just curious if you got a bit tingly for the recently announced Mega Man 2 watch. Seems difficult to control, but it looks so cool. Have a super week." Buddy, I must have gotten sent that announcement 100 times, this Mega Man 2 watch, and I said to one person, one of the first people to send it to me, I genuinely can't decide if I think it's awesome or horrendous. And you know how like sometimes things are so ugly that they become cool? Like there's been some hockey jerseys, like some sports unis that are like that. I would hear an argument the PlayStation 5 maybe is like, the PS5 is an abomination of a con. It's great to play, but it just looks hideous. You ugly hate-filled system. I did see the Mega Man 2 watch. I will not be I'm not a watch guy. I have a watch. I bought myself a watch for my 40th birthday a couple years ago, and I just very rarely wear it. I'm not a watch guy. But I have seen it. Thank you to everybody that shouted it out. I don't know, man. That thing is fucking Dr. Wily ugly. But that does make it kind of cool. If I was going on I've been in a relationship for 20 years, right? I don't imagine any first dates coming up in my near future. But if I had a first date coming up, I'd be tempted to pick that watch up, and her reaction would tell me everything I need to know about our relationship moving forward. Maybe I'll try that with Shaylee anyways. I am watching you through a camera. Says, Adam, I've never played a Pokemon game. I'm a huge RPG fan, so I'm sure I'd like the series. If I wanted to get into the games, where should I start as far as accessibility? Oh, boy. I knew this question was coming. I'm probably not the guy to answer it. I'm watching you through a camera because I haven't played many Pokemon games. Usually my recommendation would be Blue and Red. But they're not like readily available unless you want to do the whole emulating thing, which do if you got to do. But you know what? FireRed and LeafGreen are available now, and they really are the definitive way to play the first generation of Pokemon. So if anyone thinks otherwise, leave a comment on Spotify or whatever and let I am watching you through a camera know. But I actually think FireRed and LeafGreen is a pretty good place to start. If you want to go emulating, then start with Red and Blue, like start with the actual first games. But otherwise, FireRed and LeafGreen, it's a pretty good place to start. I go there. If you're an RPG fan, I'm not an RPG fan, and I like Pokemon. So I can't imagine a world where you won't enjoy these games. Have fun. Enjoy them, buddy. They're good. They're a good time. Adam, it's your turn. Says, now, I ask you, Adam, it's your turn. I'm assuming this is a typo. Your comment says Hickey games on the Switch. Where the holy hell are they? Now, I'm looking at my keyboard, and the I is millimeters away from the O, and it's the NHL playoffs right now. Go Habs, go. So I'm assuming you're meant to say hockey games on the Switch. Where the holy hell are they? If you actually want Hickey games, I bet you there are some on there. Dude, you go through Steam and there's like 3 trillion college panty snatcher 28 simulator and shit. There's tons of them on there. I'm sure there's some of those on the eShop. But if you're talking hockey games, like I know there's a couple of indie games and stuff, but I do agree. It drives me bananas that NHL... Now, okay, I should backtrack that. If the NHL games were good, it would drive me crazy that they're not available on the Switch. Because, like, I would love to play, like, my Be a Pro, because that's all I really play on NHL. I would love to have access to my Be a Pro on my Switch or my Steam Deck, quite frankly. I can only imagine the reason EA doesn't put the work into porting them is because it just doesn't sell as well as, like, FC and Madden does. Like, every month on Game Patch, we talk about the best-selling games of the month. And NHL is very rarely on there. So I can't imagine they just put up the numbers necessary to make the extra ports. But I agree. NHL, like, even NHL 25, that's the last one I played. And it's not that great, but I would still play my Be a Pro on my Switch if I could. If you want Hickey games, then you're going to need to get some different recommendations. I recommend going into the Discord. I know for a fact there's some nerds in there that can help you. Some horny nerds. But if you want hockey games... What's the one? I think there's one tape to tape, I think people talk about, but I agree. We need NHL on Switch. It fucking drives me bananas. Scorch57 2004 says, given this week is Pokemon, there's a voice crack for you. I had a bit of a topical question. Did you know that the reason there were always 2 versions of Pokemon games is because one was dedicated to an offensive playthrough while the other was dedicated to a defensive playthrough, and the Pokemon exclusives in the game fit those narratives well? Like with Pokemon Red with Charizard is a very powerful offensive Pokemon, whereas Pokemon Green and Blue with Blastoise or Venusaur were more defensive Pokemon. This goes all the way through current day, the most obvious being Sword and Shield, literally a sword for offense and a shield for defense. I thought this was fascinating. I only recently discovered this online, and once knowing this, it made so much sense. How about you, Adam? Were you aware of this concept? I was not. Boy. I swear on my dog's soul, Scorch, if you wrote this in just to fuck with me, just to get all the Pokemon fans all up fucking their knickers in a knot, being like, that's not even the case, that's not even true, then I'm gonna fucking hunt you down if I have to deal with a whole bunch of the angry Nintendo Pokemon mobs, the Pokemobs, running down my street mad that we said this. I've never heard that theory before. The Sword and Shield one makes sense. I guess the Venusaur, Blastoise, Charizard one does as well, but I'm still firmly in the camp that the reason they're like this is just so Nintendo can sell you 2 copies of every generation. And I'm never going to get off that horse. That's why I think it's like this. But I see some logic to your theory. I can see it. I pray you're not making this up to get me yelled at. But all right. Have any of you heard of that? Let me know. I'm curious. Does anyone know? All right. Fair enough. And for the record, Venusaur is the perfect combination of both offense and defense, thus making him the perfect starter and the prominent and best starter of Gen 1. And of this, there is no debate. I know you Charmander. I know we're going to get into this in a minute when we get to the talk about Pokemon. I know you Charmander and I know you Squirtle fans are going to be all up in arms, being like better than Bulbasaur. Not everybody's right about everything. It's okay. And I'm right about this. Bulbasaur, number 1, literally number 1 for a reason. Moby36 says, hey, Adam, I hope you enjoyed your well-deserved week off. I was wondering if you've done anything just for you lately, and if so, what was it? I hope you and the hot dogs have an awesome week. Thanks for all you do. Moby, you're so nice. Thank you. But I can't tell you what it was, because if it was just for me and I tell you, it fucking ruins it. So, moving on. No. Honestly, you know what? I took that last week off. I still did a lot of work. Like, I had to get a lot of, like, the boring stuff that comes with this job, like the finger thing means the taxes. I had to like finish off like all my tax paperwork and get caught up on that for the new year and all that boring stuff. I did yard work for my dog, which is boring, but I love my dog, so she needs a yard to run around in. The one day of the year where you regret having a dog is the annual spring poop scoop. The annual spring thawing of the poop scoop. At least for any of you that live where there's a real winter. It is not an enjoyable experience, so... I thought about that though, because that's actually something I talked to my wife about over the break, because so much of my life is just remember the game now. And I was like, I've been trying to find things to do just for myself that aren't video games. Because like from the 80s, like literally as far back as I can remember, going back to like the 80s, video games are what I've done. Like that's why, when people get mad that I haven't seen enough movies or watched enough TV shows, I'd rather play video games. That's what I do with my time. And now that I do them all day, I've really been trying to find things that aren't video games. I've been trying to get back into reading. The problem is marijuana makes it hard for me to read, so I got to get off the marijuana, and then I do, and then I don't, blah, blah. You know what's become the thing I do just for me? Well, two, lately I've been watching a lot of NHL playoffs because they're the best playoffs in sports. Don't at me, they are. And two, I've just been playing a lot more ball hockey. Like, I play ball hockey, I'm a goalie, and I love it out there. I don't think about, like, my life. I don't think about my, any problems, the world. I don't think about video games. Especially as a goalie, I just stand out there in the crease and kind of get left alone, but also get to be out around people. And I would say that's probably the thing I do mostly for myself now. Other than building Lego, it's just, I just go play ball hockey. I always try to find a game. I try to hop in. I try to play 3 or 4 days a week, and I fucking love it. It really has become, like, I played all through my 20s, and then I stopped in my 30s when I got into comedy. And now that I'm not really doing stand-up anymore, I went back to playing hockey, and I forgot how much I just enjoy just being out there in my stinky equipment, kind of in my own little world. It's kind of like a happy place for me until I get scored on. Then it's in my angry place. But when it's my happy place, I fucking love it out there. So, yeah. And thanks everybody for your patience yesterday or last week with the week off. I don't do that often. Every few months I'll take a week off and just kind of catch my breath. And that was needed, and it hit the spot. I'm feeling good. Other than the stupid allergies, I'm feeling rejuvenated and ready to go, and appreciate all your patience on the break very, very much. Quickly, before we move on, of course, it's letter time. It's letter time. Derek, I don't know if is it Karen or Karen or Derek C. says, hey, Adam, I want to say I appreciate the transparency and honesty you show without breaking into the personal side of things outside of Remember the Game. I recently took the plunge and quit my job to pursue my passion in fitness by becoming a trainer. It may not be as glamorous as hosting a podcast. If I could just cut in right there, Derek, I can assure you 99% of the world has more respect for a fitness trainer than they do for a podcaster. Like, look at you. If you're not in good shape, then you're the worst fitness trainer of all time. I look like a melting bag of sugar. So you're fucking crushing it there, my friend. Anyway, back to Derek's comment. I wanted to let you know you're not alone in the be careful when you turn your hobby into your career and how it affects the way you look at things and sometimes even people. I love helping people achieve their goals, but the way some people just feel so entitled to your time and personal life when they become a client, customer, or in your case, a fan, I'm aware of your distaste for that word. I apologize. I appreciate the way you conduct your business and product. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. And I read that as the letter time letter, not to blow smoke up my own ass. As we just covered on the Simpsons podcast, if I wanted to blow smoke up my ass, I'd be at home with a pack of cigarettes and a short length of hose. I love that line. I didn't read that to blow smoke up my own ass, although I do appreciate the kind words, Derek. I love hearing stories from people that are rolling the dice and betting on themselves. And buddy, yes, you're going to have days where your customers, if you want to call them that, your clients, whatever, feel like they're crossing the line and want too much out of you. And you got to figure out how to walk that line. And it's not an easy thing to do. I'm very fortuitous that I would say 99% of the people that listen to this show are very cool. If I need some time off, they understand. If I want some privacy, they're cool about it. Everyone's awesome. There's the occasional dickhead, and that's just life, right? You take 3,000 people and drop them into a room, there's going to be a dozen assholes in there. It's just never going to fail. But don't let that scare you away, buddy. Stick with it. Don't let the bad, what's the saying? Don't let the bad apple ruin the carton of eggs or whatever the fuck. Just hang in there, keep chipping away, chase your dreams. And I read that primarily. I'm a little high on Benadryl, so if this sounds more rambly than normal, well, blame the drugs. But I'm even though I've been doing this now for over 10 years, between stand-up comedy and the podcast, I haven't had a job in over 10 years. And I take a lot of pride in that in a weird way. But I also I love hearing other people's stories and other people talking about rolling the dice and betting on themselves, because I know firsthand how intimidating that can be, but I also know firsthand how rewarding it can be. And I can promise y'all, like, that pot of gold at the end of the rainbow is worth chasing that fucking rainbow for. So if there's something you love, be sure it's what you want to do. Because there's definitely some drawbacks to turning your hobby into your career, but just know that there's nothing more rewarding than just knowing that you did it. You know, Derek, you fucking did it. And that goes to any one of you that has ever rolled the dice and tried something. And you don't have to work for yourself. Not everybody wants to work for themselves. Some people don't want the weight of it. There are days where I wish somebody else was in charge of RTG and I was just the employee, so that I didn't have to, like, when something goes wrong, it's on me, because I'm on my own. I've never been on my own. Like, it's shout out to that reference. It can be intimidating, but you get one shot at this life, my friends. And many of you know someone in my family is very sick, and I've talked about that in very vague terms, and that's as far as I'll go with it. But it has really opened my good eye to just how valuable life is and how we get one chance to play this game. Then when the game is over, it goes back on the shelf, and that's all there is to it. So good on you, Derek, and shout out to any of you out there thinking about rolling the dice and going after something. You will never, ever, ever regret trying. Ever. All right? Ever. Just fucking give it a try. You never know what can happen. Good for you, buddy. Also, if you have any advice on how I could lose about 15 pounds between now and the end of July when I have to go to the lake with my in-laws, I would really appreciate that, because I am disgusting. All right, that's going to do it, everybody. We got to keep the ball rolling. Thanks so much for listening. Let's switch things up and get to our Smash Hit segment, the official game show of Remember the Game Industries. Play one, remake one, erase one. And a huge thank you to Classic Concentration from the NES for unknowingly providing us with the theme music for the show. The rules are simple. Every week I give our patrons 3 retro video games. They can play one as it was released, remake one as a modern game, and the third is erased from time forever. And as always, there are no wrong answers, but there is a right one. We'll get to that in just a second. This week we're talking the Pokemon, so I went with 3 Pokemon spin-off games. Pokemon Conquest? Fuck. That was squeaky voice teenager level. Holy fuck. Pokemon Conquest, Pokemon Coliseum, and Pokemon Trading Card Game. And 30% of you voted to play the trading card game, remake Coliseum, and erase Pokemon Conquest. So let's see what a few of you had to say here, and then I'll tell you what the right answer was. Big Papa Grimace says, I'll play Conquest because I never have. I'll remake Coliseum with all 1,025 Pokemon inversions, make an open world where you can go around and catch, train, and battle, then take on the Colostrum. I don't know if that's a typo or not, Colostrum, or is that the actual word? I never played Pokemon Coliseum. And then erase the trading card game. I wanted to remake this, but if it got made today, it'd be $80 for a base game, and you'd have to loot pack to get new cards, and it'd be a financial mess. Only good thing is no scalpers. You know, as a die-hard lover of Pokemon trading card game on the Game Boy, you are right, Grimace. If it was remade today, and I know there's the mobile version, I don't care. I hate that mobile version. I've tried it. I don't like it. But like, if they made it today, you're right. It would be so microtransaction-y. It would put EA to shame. I agree with that. Disco Stew says, I love this one. Play trading card game because I have it on an emulator and I happen to be in the middle of a playthrough right now and I love it as much as the physical card game. Remake Coliseum because if there's one 3D remake we need, it's this. Shoot that shit into my veins and get rid of Conquest because of the 3. It's the one I'm least familiar with and I don't like erasing games I haven't played, but I got the other 2 to keep me occupied. Fair enough. Is that really I haven't played Coliseum, but is that really the one? If we're going to remake one, is that the one? I mean, off the top of my head, I can't think of a 3D game that I would I mean, maybe, I don't know, all right. All right. Yeah, okay. I see your logic. I see it. Reaper C97 says, I would play Pokemon Coliseum. I never played it back in the day, but I enjoyed playing Stadium with friends as a kid, and I'm sure it's similar. That's what I've always assumed as well. Remake Pokemon trading card game. It'd be the most in need of some quality of life updates, and buying and selling and scalping trading cards is as popular as it's ever been, so it'd be a good time to do it. Lastly, erase Pokemon Conquest, because what the fuck is Pokemon Conquest? Also, I already enjoyed Lord of the Rings Conquest back in the day, and I just refuse to believe it's possible to like two games with Conquest in the title. I don't know if this is bait, Reaper, but if it is, I'm taking it. I don't know how anybody can enjoy anything with Lord of the Rings in the title. If that was bait, well done. And if it wasn't, then that's on you, not fucking me. And McFlurry XD says, easy one this week. I'll play Pokemon Coliseum because I feel it's an absolute masterpiece, a gem that doesn't get enough love for what it is. I'll remake Pokemon trading card game because we desperately need a return to this in the modern era. And I'll erase Pokemon Conquest because I have too much attachment to Coliseum. I think I'd enjoy trading card game, and because them's the rules. Indeed they are. And thank you for playing by them. I got to tell you, though, you're wrong. 18% of you got the right answer this week, as did Doug Walsh, who said play Pokemon Conquest because it's fun to say no banaga. That is kind of fun to say. I don't know what that word is. Remake Pokemon trading card game because it's about time. And then erase the Coliseum because once you've seen it, you don't need to see it again. Same order, completely different reasoning for me. I'm going to play Pokemon Conquest because my understanding is that this is a tactical Pokemon game. And if that's the case, I need to check this game out at some point because I'm Googling it right now to make sure I'm not wrong. Pokemon Conquest. I fucking love me some tactical games. Buddy, this looks like Fire Emblem Pokemon. Where the fuck has this been all? I need to play this. I gotta track a copy of this down. I'm playing Pokemon Conquest. Fuck that. And then I'm going to remake Pokemon trading card game. Well, I am nervous, and I agree with Papa Grimace and everyone that said it'd be full of microtransactions. I still love the OG Game Boy game so much that I'm going to roll the dice on a remake anyways. I want these like annual sports titles. Every year, just roll out new ones with new cards and new battles, and I'll just scoop them up and play them every year because I fucking love that game. And then I'm going to race Pokemon Coliseum because I also assume that it's just like an up-resed Pokemon Stadium. And I have nothing against Pokemon Stadium. It seems like a good game, but I am going to make orphans of its children. So that doesn't even make sense. I just feel like dropping Simpsons references today. In all seriousness, though, I don't know. Coliseum just doesn't really interest me. Maybe someday, but I don't know. I'm just not that interested in it. So thank you, everybody that wrote in to play one, remake one, erase one. As always, I appreciate it. What have I been playing over the last week or two? And then we're going to get into Pokemon FireRed and LeafGreen. I've been playing Pokemon LeafGreen. I got the LeafGreen version. We'll tell you all about that in just a minute here. Other than that, I've mostly just focused on Mouse PI for Hire, which I'll be reviewing on Expansion Pass tomorrow for all the patrons, and Pragmata, which I'll be reviewing on Expansion Pass in the next week or two. And then I've got Saros. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it yet. Locked and loaded, ready to go. I haven't fired it up yet because I need to get through a couple of games first. But I can't wait to fire that one up. But before that, I got to get through Pragmata, which has been awesome. And before that, I got to review Mouse PI for Hire, which has also been a game. It's been good. It's fine. So anyway, that's what I've been playing. Okay, here's what's going to happen. I need to drink water. So we're going to pause. I'm going to play an old retro game ad. If I've got a sponsor, I'll let them in to peddle their wares. And when we get back, it's all about Pokemon FireRed and LeafGreen. I know that's what you're here for. So remember, the game will return after these messages.
Prepare for trouble. Make it trouble. To protect the world from devastation.
To unite all people within our nation.
To denounce the evils of truth and love.
To extend our reach to the stars above.
Surrender now or prepare to fight.
There's a new way to battle Pokemon, and it's wireless. Pokemon FireRed and Pokemon LeafGreen are here, and now you can collect, train, and battle in a whole new way, only for Game Boy Advance, rated E for everyone.
This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and it's important to remember that whatever you're dealing with, you don't have to do it by yourself. I've been very vocal about some of my struggles away from the podcast, and buddy, I'll tell you, when you have something keeping you up at night, the entire world feels like it's on your back. I'm very fortunate to have people around me that I can talk to when I need an ear to bend, but I know that unfortunately that just isn't the case for everyone. If you feel like you have no one to talk to, therapy could be your answer. BetterHelp has helped over 6 million people talk to therapists around the world. You just fill out a quick questionnaire to let them know what's keeping you up at night, and they match you with one of their over 30,000 therapists, all fully licensed in the US. You can meet with your therapist online, and if your pairing isn't a fit, you can switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. You don't have to be on this journey alone. Find support and have someone with you in therapy. Sign up and get 10% off at betterhelp.com/rememberthegame. That's betterhelp.com/rememberthegame. All right, my friends, let's get into the old Pokemans. As always, I'd like to let you nerds sound off on the game we're covering before my guest and I hog the microphone. As I'm sure you can imagine, no shortage of comments this week when it comes to Pokemon. And I appreciate that we get so many comments on the popular games and stuff like that. But I always get a little bit more nervous with these types of episodes because I feel bad that I can't read everybody. Because I know the passion and I know how excited so many of you are to talk some Pokemon. So here's a sampling of the comments that were sent in this week. The Big KO8 says, along with the Guitar Hero Rock Band franchise, Pokemon is probably my most played series of all time, and these two are my most played games. I know them like the back of my hand and recently completed the Pokedex in these for the first time ever at 30 years old. I saw a Reddit post the other day of a younger guy asking why his game broke with a video of the poison mechanic working as intended and thought, I can't be getting old, right? Then I remember playing Pokemon Silver in the car with the light hanging off the side of my Game Boy Color and thought, damn, I guess we are. I know you love the OGs, Adam, so I hope you enjoyed these remakes as much as I have. Buddy, if reading that comment just made you feel old, the Big KO8, well, reading your fucking comment being like, oh, I just finished them at 30 years old. And I was like, I'm 42. You make me feel fucking old. So you're a youngin', Jesus, 30. What I wouldn't give to have a 30-year-old's back again. Oh my God. Good stuff, though. Silver Archangel says, as someone who was the target audience when Red and Blue was released, going back to these well after they dropped was such a treat. The improved sprites, expanded story, and the inclusion of some of the Gen 2 Pokemon was amazing. Playing on the Switch, I'm just a little mad you can't get more Gen 2 or Gen 3 Pokemon. Very curious on your take, Mr. Blank. P.S. I always go Firestarter, but I do see the appeal of Bulbasaur. P.P.S. Any interest in champions? No. Way to sneak that in there. No, I'm not really that interested in. I don't think Champions looks bad, but I'm good. That's not for me. Maybe someday, but no. Honestly, probably not. Probably never. But I hope y'all enjoy it. If you're into it, fucking go become the best there ever was, or whatever the saying is. Slithis the God said, I mean, what's not to love? It's like Gen 1 with some quality of life improvements plus some extra stuff tacked on at the end. I used to play this game on the clock when I worked for the city shredding papers, which now seems like I had an illegal job, but the shredders would overheat and I'd have a lot of time to sit there doing nothing, so I filled that time playing this. Listen, I'm not throwing shade, Slithis, because I have had some jobs that I found boring as fuck in the past, but sitting there just shredding paper and then waiting for the shredder to stop overheating, that does sound boring as fuck. Like, Pokemon sounds like a nice fucking distraction at a job like that. Jesus Christ. Chris2105 says, the definitive way to play the OG games, in my opinion, modernized versions of Pokemon Red and Blue with Gen 3 mechanics, graphics, and the color to boot. The post-game is pretty cool as well as the classic Kanto experience. Adam, you're absolutely right about Bulbasaur being number one, although Venusaur's lack of moves does hamper it the further this game goes on, relying heavily on its status moves, which is a shame. 8.5 out of 10 for FireRed LeafGreen, in my opinion. You know what? You're not wrong about Venusaur being kind of like typecast in the late game, but you know what? That's what the rest of the team is for. I got 5 back. You don't get to know what my team was till we get into the show, but I got 5 backups that can cover most of the other elements. Venusaur is there to fucking hold the team down, give a motivational speech when we're losing at halftime, and throw leaves and branches at people. That's all I need him to do, and to be my friend. And, oh my God, Trembopoline says, this is the pinnacle way to experience the Kanto region to date. Very faithful remakes that added on some of the much-needed balancing and mechanics from the Gen 3 games, as well as adding on some awesome extra areas with the Sevi Islands. I know of the islands, but I don't know how to pronounce that word. I'm going to go Sevi. Currently playing through my copy of FireRed on the Switch and reliving the memories of my childhood, playing it on my GBA under the covers late at night so my mom didn't see or hear me staying up late playing it. A tale we all know. It's time to get into Pokemon FireRed and LeafGreen, everybody. And just one last warning. You don't have to be a diehard to enjoy a hobby. I'm a very casual fan. I didn't do all the post-game stuff. Please be nice. All right? I just want to talk about Pokemon. Just please. There's a million reasons to hate me. Don't make my lack of Pokemon knowledge one of them. All right? That said, I'm going to cue up some Pokemon music. And when it stops, Mark McHugh and I are going to take you back to September 7th, 2004 and talk Pokemon FireRed and LeafGreen for the Game Boy Advance. Enjoy the episode, everybody. Here we go. All right, joining me via the blank phone this evening to talk a little Pokemon is my rival, not just in Pokemon, but in life, and that is Mark Pending. Remember the Game Hall of Famer Mark McHugh. Mark, how are you?
I mean, I like that you think of me more of of like a Gary.
Yeah, that's how I look at you. You're my Gary. You're my Gary.
I've always thought of myself more as like Brock or something.
Yeah, I mean, you're nice enough to be Brock, but
I don't think I'm that like.
You don't seem like you'd be a Rock.
Quite that high. That was the weird thing about the TV show. They made Brock so fucking horny.
Yeah, Brock was kind of a perv, and like, I don't know, if Pokemon were real, you don't seem like a guy, like a rock guy. Like, you don't seem like the guy who'd be like, here's my Onix and my Geodude, you know, or whatever the fuck he had.
Yeah, so, no, I would probably be like, if Pokemon were real. That's a good question. Maybe like, I don't know, maybe an electric type. I like the electric types a lot.
You seem like a. Oh fuck. What's it called? Fuck. I already said in the intro that I'm like a casual Pokemon fan. Is it Psyduck?
Psyduck, yeah.
Yeah, you seem like a Psyduck guy. That's what I could see. Mark and his Psyduck just walking down the street, yelling at people, filming TikToks, doing the thing. So I actually like Psyduck. Psyduck seems like the Ralph Wiggum of Pokemon. I like Psyduck.
The Ralph Wiggum of Pokemon. But then it evolves into Golduck, which is a sick Pokemon.
Yeah, but I'd like to think if they ever showed it, Ralph Wiggum turns out to just be like a fucking pimp. Like, he doesn't turn out to be the loser we've all seen. He just turns out to be a boss. Like, I like to think that Ralph turns out to be like the new principal of Springfield Elementary or something.
Man, that would be. Oh wait, that's another show here, but I definitely watch that like time jump Simpsons.
Oh, buddy, it'd be awesome. Yeah.
Dude,
sorry, everybody.
We're already like the rails are already gone.
Yeah, we're 2 minutes in. For those that don't know, which I assume is not many of you, Mark is also the co-host of our world-renowned Purple Monkey Dishwasher Simpsons podcast. So, but that's just a different story for a different day. Today we're talking Pokemon, and specifically we're talking Pokemon FireRed and LeafGreen. I just played this for the first time ever on the old Switch there with the LeafGreen. And I've got some thoughts. Mark, you, I assume, because I know you like the old Pokemon. Did you play this prior to Switch?
I played this originally on the GBA.
Are you FireRed or LeafGreen guy?
You know what? I was FireRed the first time, but just because of that, I decided to go LeafGreen this time.
Did you?
You know what? Lately with my Pokemon, like I've been zagging where I usually zigged as of late.
Oh. That's something I want. That's fascinating to me, and that's something I'm going to get into because obviously we'll talk about the teams we took to the end game and stuff. I basically rolled the same team I always do. I might be the boringest Pokemon player of all time. I've got like maybe one free space on my team, and other than that, I know what I want, and that's what I want.
You know what? That's kind of my play style as well. I always do try to like change it up a little bit each time. But like Charizard's going to be there, obviously.
Oh yeah, I was going to ask. You're
going to be there, obviously.
Okay. So let's just start with that, and then we'll get into the game and everything like that. Let's just address it. What team did you take into the Elite Four here?
Okay. I had Charizard. I had Nidoking. I had Victreebel. Raichu. I always have Raichu because he's my favorite. Then I also Vaporeon, and it's been a few weeks, so I'm trying to remember who my last one was.
Psyduck?
That'd be fucking hilarious.
That would have been sick. That would have been sick. I'll give you a chance to rejog your memory here. I had my Venusaur because I'm Team Bulbasaur always and forever. He's my boy. I also had a Raichu who I've never taken all the way before because I'm not a big Pikachu guy, but I caught one early and I was like, well, I need electric. I was like, eventually I'll replace him with somebody good. And then I ended up like evolving him and I was like, I'll eventually replace him with somebody good. And then I just was like, I guess he's pretty good. And I just kept my Raichu this time.
See, Raichu's my favorite Pokemon. I love Raichu.
Did some damage, man.
Yeah.
I had a Gyarados. Because Magikarp is my favorite Pokemon. So I always get a Magikarp, always grind it out and evolve it. Is that how you pronounce it? Like Gyarados? That's how I've always pronounced it.
I think that's
Gyarados.
how that's how the cartoon pronounced it. I remember. Do you remember that show, like the Video Arcade or something that was like on YTV and the
Video and Arcade Top 10.
Yeah, there was an episode where they were talking about Gyarados, and I was like, no, enough of that.
Sidebar, if anyone listening to this just heard that and was like, holy fuck, I remember Video and Arcade Top 10. Go back in our archives a couple hundred episodes ago. I actually interviewed Nicholas Pickles, the host of
Oh, that's rad.
DNA Top 10. Yeah. He was a cool
Hitmonlee
guy.
was my last Pokemon.
Hitmonlee. That's a good team. I had Venusaur, Raichu, Gyarados, fuck now. And it hasn't been a long time for me. Jesus Christ. I played it like fucking 2 days ago. Graveler. Because I always have a Graveler. I just couldn't evolve them to Golem because I have no one to trade with. 'Cause I have no friends.
Yeah, we'll get into it.
Yeah. Kadabra, because again, didn't have any friends to make an Alakazam. Always have a Kadabra. And then I was looking for like a sixth, and nobody worked. I couldn't find anybody I liked. And so I never used the legendaries just because I feel like I'm like OP in myself. But
it feels like cheating a little bit.
Yeah, it does. But that's what it was. I had an Eevee, and I evolved the Eevee into a Vaporeon or whatever. Or no, I made it the Flareon, the fire one. And then like even after all this grinding and all this leveling up, I was like, you fucking suck. Like what a crappy fucking poke. I could never make him do anything good. So then I caught the Firebird.
Moltres.
Yes, and that was my sixth, which I never do. But I was like, you know what? You already know fire tricks. I don't have to train you. I'm going to use you. Plus, I needed somebody to know fly, and I didn't have any flying Pokemon. So I was like, all right, fair. You can learn fly. Yeah. So, okay. So there you go. For those wondering, there's our teams. Cause I know we had to address that. Cause if we didn't, we'd be asked questions. That sounds like two pretty well. That'd be a good battle. I feel like it's two very well-rounded teams, covers most of the bases. That aside, you said you played this growing up. I just played this for the first time. A lot of people say that this is obviously like the definitive way to play Pokemon Gen 1, because these are obviously remakes of Gen 1 with a lot of like Gen 2 and Gen 3 stuff mixed in and better graphics and blah, 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 blah. So let's just go there because I've got a little bit of a spicy take, and I'm just curious, what's your favorite Pokemon game / generation? Is this up there for you?
You know what? 2 is always going to be my favorite generation. This one's definitely up there because it was the first, like Gen 1 was obviously the first one that I played. Yeah. I also really like X and Y. I know that like I've played White and Black, but it's been so long since I've had like a hardware that could play it. I don't remember much about it. Right. But I do remember liking that one. But X and Y, I think, are like one of my favorites. 2 is my favorite, then X and Y. But I am really looking forward to whatever this next generation is. It looks really good because I didn't hate this last generation either. I thought there was a lot of really great ideas in there. I just wish the game was finished when they'd put it out.
Sorry, that's Violet and Scarlet, right?
Yeah, Violet.
Yeah. I didn't play those ones. I've only played.
They're fun. They're fun, but they're broken.
Yeah, like I've heard they run a lot better on Switch 2. I actually have Violet on my Switch 2. I've just never turned it on.
I might have to go back and try again on Switch 2 because it was janky.
Yeah, from what I've seen online, it's like night and day. So, I've only ever played. I played Gen 1, and then for this show, I've played Gen 2 and Gen 3, and then I played X and Y, and then I played Sword and Shield, and those are the only Pokemons I've played. And then like Legends Arceus, but I didn't like Legends. I didn't like the way they changed it, but that's a debate for another day. Gen 1 has always been my favorite. I'm just an old school fan. I just like red and blue. I'm not a diehard Pokemon fan. I don't want to sink hundreds of hours into these games. So like, I gotta be honest, man. Like, I'm not a big fan of like I don't like the tag team fights. I don't like the breeding. Like I don't like the carrying items. Like I know some of you are probably rolling your eyes and yelling at your car steers right now, but like I'm a basic bitch. I like my Pokemon Gen 1. I just like it nice and basic and just a peanut butter sandwich that doesn't need anything else in it. But then I played Gen 2 for the show, and then that actually became my favorite gen. I thought Gen 2 was fucking incredible. Like Gold and Silver were so fucking good.
I still think that that's the best one, and I'd love to see them re-release because they did get like a remake like
Yeah,
this.
which
I
I
would
had
love to see a
so
re-release of that.
I had so many people tell me that like the remakes of Gen 2 are like the best that Pokemon gets. But I haven't played those ones yet. I want to because I love Gen 2.
I'd love if they release those ones next.
Yeah, me too because I need to try them now. Hot take, and I got some flack for it when we did the episode. You can go back and listen. I didn't love Gen 3. When I played it and reviewed it, I just and it's not that I thought it was a bad game, but I was like, this is getting too complicated now. I'm a simple man who likes simple things. I don't want my Pokemon having sex. I don't want them breeding. Like I just so I kind of got lost in Gen 3. And then like XY was fun. I didn't deal with anything like that, but like it was fine and so on and so forth. So like when I played these, I was kind of conflicted because everybody was like, dude, these are remakes of Gen 1, but with Gen 2 and Gen 3 stuff in them. And I was like, fuck, I love Gen 1, but I don't know how much Gen 3 stuff in them. And so like I want to make sure I make this clear so that I don't get a ton of like letter bombs and shit. I do think FireRed and LeafGreen are the definitive ways to play Gen 1. Like someone wrote into the show today and asked me, I've never played Pokemon before. Where would you recommend I start? And I said, actually, FireRed and LeafGreen might be a good place to start.
This is a great because I love Gen 1, but there's so much that I'm like, oh, okay, other games have improved this formula so much. And so like I like that this keeps it simple while like improving the little things that needed to be improved.
Yeah, like I guess my takeaway now that I've played FireRed and LeafGreen is that like I concede and accept and agree with the fact that it is like the best way to play Gen 1. I personally still prefer Red and Blue. Like that's just me. It's like I'm an old man. I still like playing my Super Nintendo more than I like playing my PS5. Like and I'm just so nostalgia is a hell of a drug, and I love Red and Blue. So like now I would say like my three favorite iterations of Pokemon are probably Gen 2, Gen 1, and then FireRed and LeafGreen. Like those are probably my three favorites. Because there is a lot of stuff in this game that is improved, and we're going to talk about that. I almost felt like I was like, you complicated my game too much. Like now you can breed and there's tag fights and then in the post game
you can go looking for and like there's certain ways that you have to train them and
I got to tell you, not that I've played thousands of hours of Pokemon, I have never caught a shiny Pokemon in my life ever.
No, I've never gone looking for them because like it's so complicated. It's like a 1 in 10,000 shot.
Dude, there's somebody, and I apologize because one of you keeps bringing it up and I don't remember the name, and I apologize. Somebody in my Patreon streams has said they've restarted FireRed and LeafGreen like countless times trying to get a shiny starter or something, I think. Is that something you can do? I don't know, but
yeah, you know what I've seen? I saw a video of somebody doing that recently where like it was like 1,000 restarts before they got it.
And like I ask this genuinely because I don't know. Like, is there an advantage to it other than they're shiny?
I don't think so. They might
like,
have
are they more powerful
stats, but I think it's just they look different.
Are shiny Pokemon stronger? No. What? Oh my god. Okay, like again, live your life. Do whatever you want. Hey, I've grinded for weapons in Earthbound. I've never gotten one, but I've done it. I get it. But no chance. I don't care enough. I'm like, you know what? I got my basic bitch Bulbasaur. And again, shout out to Red and Blue Gen 1. There was no shinies because there was no colors. It was just puke green and black, and that was the way we liked it. So that said, dude, like I haven't played Blue and Red since Jesus Christ, like maybe since like junior high. Like it's been a long time.
Oh,
so
wow.
Playing through Leaf Green, it was pretty rad. Like going to places like the power plant and the ghost tower. I can't remember the name of it. Like to go fight the Cubone's mom and shit like that or whatever the fuck. Like it was so rad seeing places that I remembered from the original game, but in these like this looks like Pokemon on the Super Nintendo. Like it looks fucking awesome. That's one thing that I straight up prefer over the Red and Blue was like FireRed and LeafGreen look fucking sick.
Like these graphics are, I mean, they still look great.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing.
They're
like,
timeless. Yeah.
Like a lot of these old games, like I saw a comparison of like oh, this is like what the best game at the time looked like, versus like, oh, this is what like a Nintendo game looked like at the same time. And then you look at them side by side now, and it's like, fuck, the Nintendo games aged way better, actually.
Yeah. No, it looks sick. And like, and particularly the Pokemon sprites, because anyone that's ever played OG Red and Blue, like, come on, they're pretty fucking rough. Especially
They were just
your
like, they had like
Pokemon.
two sprites for the, or they had like two sprites to represent Pokemon like in the overworld, and it was always like Kangaskhan.
Yeah, it was just like a fucking rabbit looking thing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It looks really good. I love that like the attacks had more fluid animations. Like it felt more like alive, you know. And I was very very impressed with that and the way it looked. I really enjoyed seeing like, again, this is just my personal taste, but like I would love to see Red and Blue in their original form, but with these graphics. You know what I mean? Because it's more than just the graphics. Like they obviously, I might be wrong. I'm doing my best here. I think they add types to this one from Gen 1. Don't they? Because Gen 1 had 15 types. And I think FireRed and LeafGreen, because they added a couple more later.
You know what? I think they might have. And I think the reason for that is because how overpowered the ghost type was in the original game. Because ghost in the original game had like one weakness, and it was to bug. And like there was like one bug move that was like an offensive move, but it also couldn't, I don't think it could hit them because it was also like a physical move. So like technically ghosts had no weaknesses in the original one.
I'm looking right now. I got the weakness chart up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
Yeah, I could be wrong. Please fact check.
Yeah, I think they added. I think Dark and Steel are new from the OGs, because I remember that too. Like I mentioned this in the intro. I know I keep repeating it, but like I don't know a lot about Pokemon. Everybody, if you're a diehard fan, we're fucking trying. Okay, I'm just a guy who played a game that enjoyed it, and I'm talking about it. I remember Gen 1, and it was Ghost was OP, and I remember Psychic Pokemons being fucking God mode. Like I would have 2 Kadabras at times in my team in Gen 1 because they would wreck everybody.
Dude, like nothing held up against a psychic Pokemon in the original generation.
Yeah,
like,
they would just slaughter everyone.
Even if you had like something stupid like a fucking Hypno or a Drowsy, like that would just wipe out the other team, no problem.
Yeah.
And if you had like an Alakazam, fucking forget it.
And that was something that I found playing through FireRed and LeafGreen. My initial plan for my 6th Pokemon was a Haunter. Because again, no friends to trade to upgrade. Because I'm so used to having a ghost. Like, dude, when I would play Red and Blue, as long as I had my Kadabra and my Haunter, I was like, the other 4 or whatever's. Because I got my Psychic and my Ghost. My Psychic kills everybody. Most people can't hurt my Ghost. We're fucking aces. The ghosts are very much nerfed in this one. I found, at least. I found my Haunter useless. I finally I was like, buddy, I'm sorry, but you are Casper the shitty ghost. I can't use you. Like, you aren't hurting anybody. I've had enough of your crap.
Good that they balanced it a little bit, but like, yeah, it is very jarring for people who are familiar with the original that it's like, oh man, like my press A to win button isn't working anymore.
Right. And like, make sure, yeah, like to be clear, like it's not it's good. Like it's good that it's balanced. That's better. But I just got to the point where I was like, I was waiting and waiting to get a hold of a ghost Pokemon. I was so excited. And then I was like, buddy, when do you start to not suck? And it just never happened. And I finally, like, sure, he's got the odd like Pokemon that can't touch him. But I was like, you're not hurting anybody. You're a fucking useless piece of shit. And I've had enough of you. Get the fuck off my team. Fucking dead piece. This is why you're dead. This is why you're dead. Because you're not a powerful fucking Pokemon. So I do like that they balanced that out a little bit better. I thought that was very, very cool. They also have like the tag team battles in this one. And I gotta say, never been a fan of like the dual battles. Never been a fan of that at all.
Oh man, I don't hate it. It switches it up. It's like, I like anything that adds a little bit of variety to the gameplay, because like when you break it down, Pokemon's gameplay is just like, you know, like there's not a whole lot of puzzle solving. There's not a whole lot of like interactivity within the world. It is just Pokemon battles. And so I like anything that breaks it up a little bit, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I don't disagree with that point. I don't know what it is about them. I'm like, because I know who I want at the front of my party, and then the occasional time I'd run into somebody who's like, "We're friends and we're gonna fight you together," and now all of a sudden it's like my Kadabra that's supposed to be leading my team is coming out, but then also here comes shitty fucking Haunter, who I was
Yeah,
like,
like
I'm
I
like,
wish
you're
they
benched.
they would let you choose that. Like, hey, it's a dual battle. Choose your 2 that you're sending
Yes,
out.
because let's be honest, like the AI in Pokemon games isn't particularly good. You know, like
No, they
computer.
don't fucking know. Like, it's so funny because like they don't know how to play the game half the
No, they
time.
don't.
Like, you're just like you just because okay. I'll be honest with you. I have never played a Pokemon game where I had oh, excuse me, where I used a move that wasn't an offensive move. Like I never have like the strategic
Same.
like stat buff.
Like Leer and those, like
Yeah,
the
never use
buffing
them.
moves. No.
Never use them because I never have to. Because the computer constantly uses those moves, even after you've just like completely rocked them down to like 10 health. They'll be like, yeah, but I'll leer again. And I'm like, you motherfucker. It is so like it's so easy to kill you.
And I agree with you. And that's something I've always been conflicted about because I'm like, part of me wishes there was like a hard mode where the computer would try to match you. But I also think if the computer did that, then you might constantly just run into battles where like no one's attacking. You're just swapping back and forth. You know, I'm like say like I get into like a random fight with a computer and they come out of the gate with the fucking Bellsprout, and I come out of the gate with like my Pikachu, then I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna pull out Pikachu and throw in like one of my fire Pokemon. But then instead of it fighting back, it sees that I pulled out a fire Pokemon, and then it pulls it out, puts in a water Pokemon. So I'm like, well, now I need my Pikachu back, and they're like, well, now here, you know what I mean? So I'm like, I don't know if like a better AI would work. But the AI is so stupid in these games, and I also understand they're children's games and all that stuff, and that's all well and good. Where was I going with? Oh yeah. So with the tag team thing, like when you get into a random fight with a trainer, I don't know about you, even going into like the Elite Four, all the gym, well, the gyms are different because you know their types going in, piece of cake and all that stuff. But the hardest part, you just have to get through that first Pokemon. Like you just have to survive that like awful in a perfect world. Whoever you throw out first happens to line up as a strength against whoever they throw out first.
Yeah, and then you can just like they'll be like, "Oh, you're going to throw out this." And then I'm like, "Okay, well that'll work good against this."
Yeah, then you can just run the table, right? Once they tell you like, "Oh, so and so is about to use Geodude. Would you like to switch Pokemon?" And you're like, "Well, now
Like,
I
"Oh
can
yeah, I'll go
people."
Squirtle."
Yeah, you just need to survive that first one. But yeah, when it's tag teams, I do wish that it would let you pick even you don't need to tell me which 2 Pokemon they're putting out, but let me choose which 2 I want to put out. Because the other thing about the tag battles is it'd be a nice way to like level up one of your shitty Pokemon if you put them out with a Hoss. And then just let the beefcake do all the work and let your little Pokemon, you know, sneak in a
Like
few
get
levels.
half the
Just
XP, yeah.
yeah, I don't know what it is about the tag battles. I just like I don't it's not like they're like game breaking and I'm like, "Oh, this makes me angry." And it only happens like half a dozen times. But I've just never been a big fan of the tag team mechanic. I don't know. Just it's
No,
not for
I
me.
hear what you're saying, and like I again don't hate the concept. It just could be done better.
But to your point, you're right that like you spend so much time at dude, and I've played Pokemon a few like I know every Pokemon game has those areas where you go into and it's just like 20 fucking trainers for some reason, all just standing around like they're fucking hopped up on goofballs, just staring into the space, waiting for you to walk in front of them. So they're like, "Hey, where the fuck do you think you're going?" And just nonstop one-on-one battles. On one hand, it does get old after a while, but on the other hand, buddy, I ask you, Mark, the only thing I've ever done in video games as satisfying as one-shotting a Pokemon using something that they're weak against is one-shotting or two-shotting a Mega Man boss with the thing they're weak against. Is there anything better than like the first battle, like you have your fucking Raichu out there against like a any water Pokemon, and in one like just when you use your first attack and just watch that health meter just
Yeah, it's just like go like it's fun when it just like drains instantly.
yeah. but it's also so like, and that keeps me going through those areas where I have to fight 20 trainers. Is I just love seeing how many I can one shot, you know. But when they do it to you, bro, I gotta be honest with you, man. Like the last guy in the Elite Four, I was walking him for first three, and then he threw out that goddamned Aerodactyl. And my fucking team was not strong enough. Like I had not leveled them up enough. And that Aerodactyl was just fucking dog walking me. Like just one-shotting me left and right. And I was like, would you fucking, I'm not even getting enough time to like put out a dud Pokemon so that I can use some revives and heal my good ones. He's just massacring everybody.
Yeah, it gives you no time. And
when it happens, oh, fuck
that's
me.
the thing with Pokemon games is that there's such a, like, there's something to be said about, like, yeah, most of the games are easy. They're kids' games. But then at the very end, there's just this sudden increase in difficulty where you're like, I could have used a little bit more of this throughout the game.
Yeah, but I mean,
like,
even that,
I
like,
had to grind quite a bit, and now, like, I'm really glad that this version of the game has an item that lets you go back and refight old trainers.
Oh, I didn't know that. What item?
Oh, you didn't know that?
No,
that's like that made grinding so much easier because this is my thing. This is my thing with Pokemon. I don't understand. I understand the slogan is "Gotta catch them all" and all that. I can't. I catch the ones I want to put in my team, and then that's it. Because there's not enough time to train that many Pokemon. Like, and then still have a good enough team by the end of the game without a significant amount of grinding. Now, I had to grind a little bit at the end of the game just to get like to a level where I could like be competitive with the Elite Four. And then I don't like that sudden spike in difficulty. I think the game needed to be a little bit harder to like lead you there.
I would have liked to have seen a little bit more of a little bit more difficulty as well, to be honest, up until that Elite, and even the Elite Four, like the first three dominated. And then it was that last guy. It's fucking goddamn the fucking dragon Pokemon, fucking dragons just kept feeding me my fucking ass. I'm a similar way. Like for about the first, and this is basically every Pokemon I play, for about the first half of the game, if I come across a Pokemon that I've never caught or that I haven't caught, I'll catch it just for the sake of catching it. And then once I get into the later half of the game, and instead of fighting like level 3, level 4 Pidgeys and fucking Rattatas, now I'm up against like, you know, when you're running into like level 30 fucking Geodudes and Golbats and shit. Now I'm like, I could catch you, but if I catch you, you're just going to sit in my PC for the rest of eternity and never do anything. Or I could knock you to fuck out and get these XP that I could use more. And then I stop. Like I don't know about you, man, but like I've always it's been a lifelong dream of mine, to quote Homer. It's always been a lifelong dream of mine to complete a Pokedex, but I can say with complete certainty, I will never do it. It just seems like
Gen
such
1,
an undertaking.
I did it once when I was a kid because like Pokemon Stadium made that transfer a lot easier. And on that note, I'm really fucking pissed that Pokemon Stadium is on NSO, but there's no way for it to interact with like a Game Boy version of the game.
Yeah.
Because it's like, well, then what's the point of this game other than like it's just like kind of a mini game player now?
Yeah,
like the whole
in a
point of
nostalgia
Pokemon
bump,
Stadium is it's the game that you can like plug in your team, and then like you can get like Pokemon that you can't get in your version as prizes when you beat like the whole like championship thing. Like Pokemon State and Pokemon Stadium like only works in tandem with the original game. So like why they didn't include that in the it pisses me off, Adam. It pisses me off.
Fair enough. I agree. Like it's basically like Pokemon Stadium on Switch Online is basically a nostalgia bump. Like that's basically what it is. Yeah. I know. Yeah, I've always admired people that do like the complete Pokédex. Like it looks like a very fun. Okay, you know what? Like we're at almost half an hour, and I gotta get an ad read in, or my sponsors are gonna hunt me down and beat me. with a sack full of oranges. So let me let this in here, okay? We'll play. And for those of you that because I know we get new listeners whenever we do a big game like this. There's another retro gaming ad coming up, then the sponsor. So enjoy the retro gaming ad, and then I'm not telling you to fast forward through the sponsor. I'm just saying, live your life. You know, you got a phone, it's got buttons on it. Do whatever you have to do. Then we get back. We still have more Pokemon. So remember the game will return after these messages.
Hey, little buddy, want to ride?
Pikachu!
Yeah, whatever. I'll be right back.
Where can you catch all 150 Pokemon? On your Game Boy, that's where. Pokemon for Game Boy is here. With both packs, you can catch them all. Games and systems sold separately.
If you've ever wondered how much of your favorite movies and TV shows really happened, head on over to basedonatruestorypodcast.com to find hundreds of episodes digging into the true story behind movies and TV shows. Once again, that's basedonatruestorypodcast.com.
Sorry, I'm just trying to think of what I want to come back in on here.
No worries.
Fucking Benadryl. I'm so fucking dopey on this stupid medication. Jesus Christ.
Put this in.
What's that?
Just put this in.
Yeah, I should. Yeah, I will. You know what? I will put it back in. That's what we're coming back on. You got a little bit of inside baseball right there, everybody. I'm sitting here staring at my notes, being like, where the fuck are we going to come back in on here? Because I still want to talk about the HMs. I still want to talk about getting lost. I want to talk about the post game. And then I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just go. Buddy, I'm not even, I'm a little bit ashamed to admit it, but I'll admit it. I know this is a children's game. I know it's for all ages, but children can play it. I have to be honest with you, Mark, not once, but twice I got lost and had to look up where the fuck to go next. Twice.
Dude, 100%. Like, where did you get lost?
Dude, I don't know how. I missed Fly. Dude,
I did
missed
too.
Fly.
I 100% missed Fly because I got all of the badges and then I was like, wasn't I supposed to learn to fly at some point?
Yeah, me too. And then I had to finally look it up. And all it was on that fucking route. I did that route. I can't remember what number it is.
You didn't go the weird way to find that.
I went the bottom way. I felt like such a dumbass when I finally looked it up, man.
It's like, I played the original, because that's where it was in the original game. And I've played that game so many times. I don't know how I forgot that. And it's the same with, I don't know if I did the gyms in the right order.
I did not. I got 6th badge before I got the 5th badge.
I think I did too.
I got the 6th badge and I was like, man, that was a fucking war. I was like, am I this under leveled? What a scrap. And then I brought up, you can bring up your character screen and it shows your badges at the bottom. Yeah. And I noticed that I was missing 5 and I was like, oh. So then when I finally, I had to look up where the 5th gym was and I went back and got that badge and fucking smashed that place because I was so overpowered by this point. But I was just like, dude, do I suck this hard at video games? Am I just not paying attention? I played this a lot late at night. I played it on stream a little bit while I was talking with people. So I'm glad to hear it's not just me. There was multiple occasions where I was like, where the fuck, how did I miss this? Where the fuck am I? What's going on here? I was like, this poor kid that I've been given control of that left home to go and hunt animals is just lost fucking forever. So I'm glad it's not just me. That fucking Fly one. It's just this one stupid house above this fucking fence. Everything else is below it. And I don't know how I didn't think to go to that fucking house.
It's so easy to walk right past it too.
Yeah. I'll also, I did the power... Is it the power plant? Wherever the electric bird is, Zapdos. I think it's the power plant. I went in there and I tried to, buddy, I must have thrown 30 Ultra Balls at that fucking bird. I had it. I couldn't take any more health off of it. I had it asleep. I could not for the life of me get it to, I finally killed it. I'm like, you know what, buddy? I'm out of balls. All I have left is my Master Ball. I'm not using this on you. I've got Raichu, and that fat Pikachu is doing the heavy lifting with electric. You're done. Knock him the fuck out. And I was getting so, do you remember the rumor when you were a kid? I don't know if you remember this. Playing Red and Blue. I remember there being a story where if you'd hit A at the right time, it would help you catch Pokemon.
I do remember that.
And I
don't
think
know
that's
if it
been
was
disproven.
true, but I did it every time.
Me too. And I'm sitting there playing this game, trying to catch this fucking bird, and I'm just hitting A and doing everything I can. And like I'm not proud of it. Like the amount of anger I had at this fucking digital bird on this fucking game, and I was like, and the game was just giving me the middle finger because it wasn't like he was breaking out right away. It kept doing the 3 shakes, and then oh, you almost had him. And I'm like,
it was almost caught or whatever.
God damn it. So it's finally like, you know what? I'm not going to use you anyway. And this is always what happens to me in these types of games and this is what I was mentioning before the break. In the first half, I'm like, I'm catching everybody. I'm going to have this army of Pokemon. Let's fucking go. And then by the second half, I'm like, I want the XP. You're never getting it. Like I come across like a level 28, fucking Goldine or whatever the fuck, and I'm like, I'm sorry, you dumb fish, but like, I'm never using you. So and then this fucking bird, I got so fucking mad at that fucking bird. I'm glad you got lost as well. It wasn't just me. And then also that cave that you have to push the rocks and to block the water.
Oh, dude, fuck that cave.
I don't know if I'm ashamed to sit here on the internet on a podcast that's about to go to the world. I don't mean to like flex on our numbers, but like tens of thousands of people are going to listen to these two grown men talk about how they got lost in this children's game multiple times. But this fucking cave where you need to push these boulders down to stop the water, and I could not find this extra rock I needed to push.
Like, and I'm sure a lot of you listen to like you're out there, you're playing Dark Souls, you're playing
no kidding.
Like games that have like real challenge, and here we are being like, this kid's game was not very intuitive to where we were supposed to go. I did one gym before I was supposed to do the other, and I missed the room with the wizard's key. And
somebody's listening to this while they're fucking playing Elden Ring with their feet or some shit, and they're just like, these fucking idiots, fucking morons. And so to you, Elden Ring with your feeder, I dare you, go find your way through that fucking cave without a goddamn map and tell me how easy it is. Son of a bitch, man. I'm glad it's not just me. I got lost so many fucking times. One thing I fucking I hate about Gen 1, and I hate about this game as well, is HMs. HMs are such a pain in the fucking ass, man.
HMs, I'm not huge on. I do have a bigger bone to pick than the HMs, but we'll get to that. The HMs, I like the idea behind them. It kind of like does gate your progression. It kind of gives you like a bit of a Metroidvania. And I did say earlier, there's not a whole lot of interactivity with the world, but like the HMs were like the little ways in which you did like, which there was like a little bit of puzzle solving. There was a little bit of like exploration, and like there was like, oh, you need to go here to get this before you can go here. It wasn't just like an open go anywhere map.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like, I like the concept of them, and I know a lot of people have their HM slaves, and I understand. Like, I know I've done that before as well, but like, it's a pain to have to constantly go back and swap out when you don't need them and stuff like that. And some of them are good. Like, I taught my Venusaur cut and just used it as a move the whole game, and it was like a fine move for like when he was up against someone.
Move,
yeah. Articuno with Fly, like Fly is fucking Dragoon jump god tier. Like, it's great. Gyarados
like,
had
me, like,
Surf.
The secret has always been to like, have like give like one to each party member, and like arrange your team in a way that like each one could have one, so you don't have the like HM slave.
Right, and I agree with that, but I still like. I would love to meet somebody that just thinks the game wouldn't be more enjoyable without these things. Like, it just would be, it's just that they're just like even if, because you're right, like, it's to keep you from going into areas of the map until you're ready and stuff like that, which is fine. But like, why can't I just have them and then just have them in my bag and then just tell a Pokemon on my team to use them when I need them, instead of having to like not only burn one of my 4 move slots with them, but give them a move that I can't get rid of.
I think that the HMs would have worked better if the moves were like, if they were like the most powerful moves as well.
Right. Like, I found Fly and Surf genuinely usable attacks.
Surf is a fucking great move.
Yeah. Like, they're both like, because like with my Gyarados, like he had Hydro Pump, but only had 5 attacks with Hydro Pump. and then Surf. And then I used his other 2 spots for like a dragon move and a dark move, I think. Because I was like, well, I have my 2 water moves are covered between Surf and Hydro Pump. But I
Yeah.
still like Raichu, I taught Flash so that I could see, and now I just have this crappy thing for the rest of the game that I don't want.
Yeah, like Flash is like kind of a pointless move. Like, wouldn't it have been cooler if the HMs were like these hyper strong moves?
Yeah, I agree. They're just like anyone listening to this that's played Pokemon, like, you know, it's HMs. I just find them to be a pain in the ass. And I hadn't played because I haven't played a modern one since Sword Shield, and that's been years since I played. But I don't believe the modern ones have the HMs anymore.
They don't really have the HMs. They kind of have like Pokemon that you can call on that will like he and like that you could like ride or like fly on, or like later games did it, like they still had the like Metroidvania aspects to it, but they did it a little bit differently.
There's such an impractical way to fucking use them.
There was a water bike in one of them, I think.
Oh, sorry. Speaking of biking, shout out to FireRed and Lee. You know what? When we score it, I'll give it an extra point for giving you the ability to run.
Yes.
But I will take off half of that extra point for not letting you run indoors. Like, why? Like, when I'm on the world map, I can haul ass, but then I get to one of these buildings.
You don't like you've worked in warehouses before. You're not supposed to run inside.
Yeah, but kids do what they want. But it is still easier than having to like put your bike on, and because otherwise, like, you'd always use that one register button to your bike. And now I don't have to. I could use it for like a fishing rod or my map. I'm ashamed to say I spent over half the game with my map set to my fucking quick button. Because I was like, where the fuck? I'm such an old boomer. I was so lost in this fucking game. It's not even that big. It's not even that big. Like, sure, they add a little.
You should be so familiar with this map.
I know. Well, okay, and then so that okay, you know what? I'll come back to this because I want to talk about those the islands. But you said that you had a bigger boner than the HMs. What's your bigger?
I'm huge, like, okay, and it's the reason why the game was initially successful, but it's why these games don't work as well now, and it's the Pokemon that require trading in order to evolve. Now, I understand, like, when the fur games first came out, the whole point was, like, your friend had a copy and you had a copy, and, like, on the playground, you guys would trade and you would battle. It was a fucking great way to design a game. But that's not really how people play games anymore, and it's also not... The fact that they didn't have that as an online function was so frustrating, because that was, like... that means that like so much of the game is now just unplayed. Like, there's so much you can't access because you can't connect online and play with like your friends. Because I play games with my brother all the time online. And I would have loved to be able to have played this with him. And like, sure, I guess like if we both like were in the same room, we could play it, and like that's still a thing you can do. But it like I live in a different city, so I wasn't able to do that, and it was so frustrating that there's so many Pokemon you just can't get because you can't trade. And the other thing is, like, most of us pick up these games just at random times, like not when like the whole world is playing them. So like if I pick up like silver or gold now, I have nobody to play with because nobody else is playing that game at the same time. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. I'll agree with that. Like, I understand. It's so funny because let's just say Pokemon had never existed, right? Let's say Red and Blue came out now, and it was the first time the world had ever been introduced to Pokemon. If Nintendo came out and was like, we have these 2 RPGs, there's 150 of these little characters, half of the challenge of the game is getting all of them, but each copy, both Red and Blue, is missing about a dozen, and so you're going to need both copies to get them all. People would be so, and rightfully, people would be like, fucking what a load of shit. You're just trying to sell us 2 copies of games. But when they released this back in the day, everybody was like, oh, neat. Well, like, I'll find a friend who has one and we'll fucking trade. I agree with you. I've never had a massive beef with each copy missing some Pokemon and having to get them from the other one. That's never been a huge problem for me. But the trading to evolve has always burned me at my ass because two of my regulars that I always have are Graveler and Kadabra. And I don't know if I've ever had a Golem or an Alakazam because I've never traded to get the other one. And that really burns my ass. And if we're taking Nintendo to task here, I know some people thought it was a ripoff when they released FireRed and LeafGreen on the Switch 2 period for like $30 Canadian, I think they were.
That I don't really have an issue with. That's like, I feel like I got my money's worth for that.
I agree. Like, if you don't like the price, fair enough. Everything's worth what someone's willing to pay. I don't have a problem with Nintendo. I know that like a lot of people would have rather seen them added to Nintendo Switch Online. I would have too, because that would save me $30. But I also get
have a problem with the lack of online
exactly. Exactly. I don't have a problem with them not putting them on Switch Online because I'm like, it's business, right? They probably sold millions of copies of this. Like, I get it. But I do have a problem with them not going in and putting in some kind of online. That really fucking irritates me. Like, that's just, I'm like, if you want to charge us, if you had put them on Nintendo Switch Online as just emulated ROMs and been like, there's no online trading or whatever, I would have just been like, well, whatever. They gave it to us on Switch Online. It is what it is.
But that if it was on Switch Online, it would have had an online capability.
And that's the most ironic part.
That's the worst part about it. Is
exactly.
Like, again, I don't mind paying $30 for an old game. I really do. Like, ideally, obviously not, but like, I don't really like it's. It is worth that. I don't want to pay that, but it is worth that. So I'm not mad about it. But it's the fact that if like you said, like let's say 1 million people bought this game. That's $30 million.
Yeah, I get it.
They could have easily, because this was a copy paste game. Like they did not tweak much to get this onto the Switch 2. So the bare minimum they could have added was the online capability.
Exactly, and that I agree with, and I'll agree that with everyone leaving flaming bags of dog shit on Nintendo's front steps for this, I agree. I don't mind that they didn't put it on Switch Online, but that's the frustrating part, is that if they had been included with Switch Online, they would have had online trading, but instead you made us pay $30 for them, which again, I'm willing to pay $30 for it, but when we paid $30 for it, we couldn't even go online and trade. And I was like, what in the fuck, Nintendo, you cheap fucks. That pissed me off. That's fucking horseshit. God damn it.
Yeah, that was like that. Yeah, that pissed me off.
Yeah, I'll come along with you with that. I know, and I'm going to tell everybody right now, like, I didn't have any time, guys. Like, I didn't do the post-game stuff. I did read about the post-game stuff. My thing with Pokemon games, especially Gen 1, I've never been a big like, even as a kid, I'd beat the game, I'd go and use my Master Ball on Mewtwo, and then I just stopped playing. And then, like, that was just as far as I would go.
Did you do the post-game for Gen 2, though?
A little bit, just because I saw what it was, and I was like, that's fucking sick.
Yeah, Gen 2, like, it has a whole other...
Pokemon, like another 8 badges.
There's never been a better... There's never... I know this, we're not talking about Gen 2 today, but there's never been a better post-game than that. Where it's like, the game ends, and they're like, do you want a whole other game? And you're like, the fuck? Yes, I do.
Yeah, I didn't know that was coming. I was and that's, I think, part of the reason why Gen 2 is my favorite, because I was like, what an insane value. But I'll also give them credit. Like, they're sure you don't have like an entire second game waiting for you in this one, but that they added those islands and added like some Gen 2 Pokemon and a bunch of other stuff to do and things, like you would get. And that's why, again, I don't mind paying $30 for this game, aside from the lack of online, which is fucking ridiculous, because you are getting like, I think it took me 20 some hours just to beat the base game. And if you want to go looking for like a full Pokedex, or you want to go into the post game and start going to these extra islands you unlock afterwards and collecting like the Gen 2 Pokemon and stuff in a Gen 1 game and everything, like, I'll give credit where it's due. Take out the lack of online and stuff. Like, I'll ask you this even. I know people for years have been kind of criticizing Pokemon for basically just releasing the same game, right? Like, I know they've made some changes and stuff, but like, take away the Legends series and it's been basically a lot of the same. And I'll agree with that. But when you go back to Gen 1, Gen 2, and Gen 3, particularly Gen 2 and then this game, it's pretty remarkable the amount of extra content that's in. Like, if this was the game you got for your like 10th birthday, you were good until your 11th birthday.
Yeah, like there is a lot to... there's a lot to do. Now, that said, there's one criticism of the post game I have to make here, and it's that you can't get it until you've caught 60 Pokemon. Which that's not how I play Pokemon games, and it kind of felt like it was just disrespecting my play style, if that makes sense. Because like I mentioned, I play Pokemon games like I catch the ones I want to put in my party. Those are the ones I catch. And then like sometimes I'll catch like something else if I'm like, oh, that might be useful later. But for the most part, I'm like, okay, I pick my party. Those are the ones I catch. And so by the end of the game, I only had like a Pokedex of like 20 or something. So I was like, well, I don't really want to go out and like have to catch a bunch of Pokemon just to get this post game. So this time around, I didn't do it. I did it when I first played it on like the GBA, like years and years ago. And it's pretty good. It's like a good chunk of like extra content. But this time it felt like the bar was just like, you're asking too much of my time right now just to get to this next part.
Yeah, I can get on board with that. I agree. I don't know if I like. I mean, I guess I could hear the argument that they're assuming if you're interested in going into the post game, you're obviously collecting Pokemon, and if that's the case, you've probably caught 60. But I do agree that like I bought your game. If I don't want to catch a bunch of Pokemon, then don't make me catch a bunch of Pokemon. Like, just let me fucking.
I don't catch Pokemon that I don't have time to train, and like the game only gives you so much runway to like grind up all these Pokemon, especially with like that sudden jump at the end.
I'll agree with that. It's like I never even thought of that because I had the numbers, so that never even entered my mind. But yeah, I could hear that. That like, why force me? Like I'm the motherfucking world champion. All right, I go where the fuck I want.
Yeah, like if anything, you should be fucking begging me to go to your goddamn island, Lorelei.
Yeah. Fuck you, Nintendo. We're suing. Fucking pieces of shit. But I
do. No, you are right that like if you are playing the post game, it is probably a safe assumption that you're going there because you want to get like add more to your Pokedex and like unlock the Gen 2 and Gen 3 Pokedex as well.
Yeah. So I mean, well, I agree with you that like it's a little bit of horseshit in the sense of it's all locked up. I do really appreciate how much extra content because they didn't have to. Like they could have, same as like Gen 2. I was shocked at the post game in Gen 2. And I'm not, and like you said, we're talking, this is not Gen 2, but like they didn't have to do that. It could have been a simple matter of like, hey, you're the world champion now. You want to fly around and collect the rest of the Pokemon, fill your boots. That they would add this extra stuff is pretty fucking cool.
Yeah. And that is like a bit of a nitpick there. So, like I can't fault them too much for that. Yeah. It's just one thing that kind of annoyed me.
No, I agree. Well, we're talking about things that annoyed us. I don't know if this bothered anybody else. I found the inventory system in this game to be a pain in the ass.
A little bit.
Got 3 different packs in your backpack, and then one pack also has your HM pack in that pack. So then I have to go into that fucking pack. Like it's really not. It's like I'm not taking any points off.
In its own pocket, which it is like in later games, but also was in Gen 2. It's kind of like, but you guys have already figured out this system. Why did you go make it weird?
Why couldn't the inventory system just be like a Final Fantasy inventory system where I open my inventory and all my shit's there?
See, that I don't like as much because that's what Gen 1 was. And that got like it got a little bit hard to like keep track of everything that way. And you ran out of space so quickly.
Yeah. But I mean, also by the end of the game, like you've got so much money that like you're not carrying individual heal items. You just have your full heals. You just got your max, but like you just have the best of the best. And the rest of it doesn't matter. So
yeah.
I'm sure we've forgotten things and people are going to fucking be like, oh, I can't believe you didn't mention the Mewtwo shiny asshole or whatever the fuck. But I think I'm good. It looks good. It plays good. Very competent game. Map's too hard to find your way around. What do you name your rival? I'm just curious.
When I was younger, it used to be Gary, and now I just like name it like whatever fucking filthy word I'm thinking of off the top of my head.
Nice.
I think this time I called him shit and fart.
I don't want to go any. I don't want to dox anyone or name any. I genuinely expected you to say Daryl, and that's just for me and Mark to know. We know somebody. That was what I expected it to be. Was
who hates
Daryl.
Pokemon
and everything else
about it.
Yeah, what would that? You know what that guy? If Pokemon were real, you know what that guy would? He'd be like a fucking. He'd hunt for sport. That fucking guy, like he would hunt for sport, and he'd fucking
but
killed.
then he would get fucking like he would just get his shit rocked like the second he like came up against like a Snorlax or something.
Yeah, fucking Onyx would crush him or something. I actually named my rival DSP in this one, and every time he popped up, I was like, "Oh, it's fucking DSP." It is.
DSP.
Laugh, so. He's a streamer I hate more than just about anyone on this planet. So, are we good? Is there anything we didn't touch on that you want to tinkle on, or are we good?
No, like the big thing is the lack of online on the Switch 2 release. Other than that, no, solid game. I fucking love, like, again, this is for me the best way to play Gen 1. And I'm really, really glad that this is like an accessible game again. Not too mad about the $30 price tag, except for the online stuff. Yeah, solid.
Yeah, I agree. I'll circle back to what I said off the top, like just to make it abundantly clear. I do think this is the better game compared to Red and Blue. I personally would rather play Red and Blue, but that's purely because it's just like a comfort food game for me.
You know what I would have liked though? Like now that we're just like talking about like just Blue Sky, I would love if they had a yellow version of this as well, because I dug Pokemon Yellow and I liked the little things from the TV show that they worked into the game. I would have liked Pokemon Yellow in this style.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
If it was like red, green, and yellow played a little bit differently. Like,
yeah, I'll hear that. I don't know if I've ever played. I've played Yellow, but I don't think I've ever played through Yellow.
Yellow, it's the same game, except for they added Jesse and James, and like Pikachu follows you.
Yeah, that little shit rats fall when you're around. Fuck, I hate Pikachu. Yeah, I'll get on board with that maybe someday. But I enjoyed it. Like I don't know if other Pokemon fans feel this way, but like outside of the first 3 gens, the only other Pokemon I've ever played are XY and Sword Shield, and then Arceus or whatever it's called, Legends, whatever the fuck. And I much prefer gens 1 through 3 to modern ones. I don't know. I just like the old school. I like the old school.
You know what? And like there aren't many Pokemon games that I've played that I didn't like. Except for maybe Legend ZA. Fuck that game. But for the most part, like even like the worst Pokemon game is still kind of fun, except for Legend ZA.
Pokemon is just such a, like, I'm not a big RPG guy. They're just such charming games. Like, it's just, and especially Gen 1. Like, even though I think Gen 2 is probably my favorite, especially you go back to Gen 1 when, like, I can't even keep track of them all now. Like, I don't even know what I'm doing. Whereas this one, like, I haven't played Gen 1, like I said, in it's got to be coming up on 30 years since I've played Gen 1 of Pokemon. And I still remember weaknesses. I still remember like types. And I couldn't name all 150 classic Pokemon, but like I know them as soon as I see them, you know? And it's just, I don't know, man. They're just such fun, charming games. They're such a brilliant idea. Collecting all these different characters of different types and then building a team out of them and going out and fighting other people's teams. It's just,
man, like
it's the
when
biggest.
I was 12, I was obsessed. Obsessed with Pokemon. I remember my mom telling me, like, "Hey, yeah, this is a fad. It's going to be gone in a few months." And here we are, like,
it's legitimately the biggest media franchise in the world,
in history. Yeah,
like ever. Yeah, it's fucking insane. So,
and we're like here 25 years later, and we're still we're still talking about and playing Pokemon. And
30, dude, I think they turned 30 this year, actually.
Oh my god.
I know, it's fucking insane, man. Like, Good times. I remember Josh and I, my little brother and I, getting Pokemon Red and Blue when we were, I would have been like 12. He would have been 9. And we just like, we got both games. I got Blue, the better game. Josh got Red, and we got the player's guide. And it was just like, that became our obsession for months. We just played so much Pokemon. So
See,
just
we had
such
one
brilliant
Game Boy
games.
and one copy of Red that we took turns playing.
Oh, that would have, that's the other thing, was the one save file is such a, like, I mean, I get it. It's smart marketing because they know that, like, we'll get to, I'm not sharing with Caitlin. Like, they know that families aren't going to share.
Well,
Or
the other thing is, like, this was all on a Game Boy. Like, we're talking original Gen 1 here, but that was all on a Game Boy cartridge.
Yeah,
That was impossible. Like, think about, like, where, like, the first game on the Game Boy was Tetris, and then they were able to put this in there somehow. Like, it was insane.
Yeah, it's crazy.
There's no way that they should have been able to fit that onto the Game Boy.
Agreed. One last, before we score, just one other shout out to another thing I loved. I only noticed it a couple of times because this was basically all I was playing on my Switch. So I wouldn't close the game. I would just put my Switch to sleep and then wake it up and keep playing. But the occasional time I did close the game and then fire it back up, I love that it did the like previously on Pokemon Fire Red and show you like the last few things you did. More RPGs need that. That's brilliant. That's
because
fucking well
like
done.
it's like, especially now, because like we're adults and there's a good chance that if we're picking up a game, it's been a while since we've played it. So like, just remind us what we were doing last time. Don't just like throw us in the middle of a situation and expect us to remember what we were doing.
Yeah, exactly. So well done. All right, cool games. Let's score them.
Oh, and I also like that, like, the intro was like a better anime. Like, it was the original intro. Like, when you turn on the game, it was the original intro, but like it was like animated better. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, even when you went into an area and it had that tiny little cutscene showing off, I thought that was very, very cool too.
Yeah.
So. Okay. We're just, you know what? Let's just score it out of 151. We'll count Mew, that fucking little sperm cat. Let's go at 151. Even though
we don't think there's a way to get him in this game, but
I don't either. But I don't know how to get him in the first one. People are like, I saw somebody today talking about missing no or whatever from the first one, and I was like, I still don't know what that is.
Oh,
like,
I never did the missing no thing.
No, I'm such a casual Pokemon player. Like, I don't know.
Okay,
anything.
so like you talk to the dude at like in Viridian City that like teaches you like how to catch Pokemon, and then you have to fly to Cinnabar Island and like surf up and down the coast until you run into Missing No, and then it would like clone the 7th item in your inventory, so like you can get like unlimited rare candies and master balls and whatever it is, so you could just like nerf your way through the game real fucking quick. And
how do people find this shit?
I have no idea how somebody found that. And like, there's a way to catch Mew as well. That's so much more confusing and convoluted, where it's like, you have to like go up the Nugget Bridge and then like you have to lose at some point, or like you have to like fly the exact same second that somebody sees you. It's weird. I don't remember how it works. But then then you fly to a specific place and Mew will show up. It's insane. Like, and I'm like, who found that and how?
Yeah, that's what I've always thought, is like, how do people find these fucking things? Well, let's score it at 151. We'll give Mew the light of day. We'll score it at 151. So guest honors at 151, FireRed and LeafGreen.
I'm going to give it 140. Because very solid game, but it's losing some points for not being playable online. Unless we're talking about like the original GBA game, which I mean it didn't play online either, but like it actually came with like a wireless like connector. So like,
yeah, and that was back in the days when we'd like actually see our friends in person.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll give it 140 out of 151.
I know it's horrible radio, but that's like the literal number I had in mind. I'm like, this is like, to me, it's like a 9 out of 10. I could see someone giving this a perfect score. Like, I had lots of people writing into the show being like, this is my favorite game of all time. I adore this game. It's my favorite Pokemon game. I see it.
I 100% see it.
Me as well.
There's a few things that are keeping me from like giving it a perfect score, but I can't see myself going any lower than 140 out of 151.
No, at the end of the day, like I just had a really fun time playing this. Like it just took me back. And I will say, well, I'm sitting here,
like added some new challenges and like remixed some things so that it felt fresh and new again.
Yeah, exactly. And I'll say, while I'm sitting here saying that I still prefer Red and Blue, I have not played Red and Blue in 30 years. So maybe if I was to actually play them, I'd be like, for fuck's sakes, give me back FireRed and LeafGreen.
You know what? I think you probably would.
I probably would, but as I've said on the show countless times, nostalgia is a hell of a drug, man.
Yeah.
And there are a few games that I have as many good memories of playing as a kid as I do Pokemon Blue. So, but this was fun. This took me back. 140, good fucking game. If you're a diehard Pokemon fan, I hope that we did your game justice and you're not fucking like, I can't believe they didn't even mention that you can fucking throw a rare candy at Team Rocket and Mew will fucking fight Fred or some shit.
I don't think that's a thing.
Mark, I know that everyone hears you every week on Purple Monkey Dishwasher, which you can find on patreon.com/remember the game. But where else can people find your ramblings?
You can also find me on TikTok. I'm at Bark McHugh. And then on Instagram, it's like the same stuff over there, but just fewer people watching and I'm just Mark McHugh over there.
There you go. Go find him. Mark, appreciate you doing this, buddy. Thank you very much. And I will talk to you in about 48 hours to do Purple Monkey Dishwasher.
Sweet. Thanks for having me.
All right. That is going to do it for this week's episode. Mark, thank you so much for giving me a shout and talking some Pokemon. And every single one of you nerds listening to this, whether it's your first episode or your 374, thank you so much for rolling the dice and picking us. I know there's 100 video game podcasts out there, and you flew with Remember the Game Industries, and we appreciate that. So thank you so much. If you enjoyed the show, leave us a good review. They neutralize the negative reviews, and they make me feel good about myself. And I'm supposed to ask for them. I'm not really sure what they do, but I'm supposed to ask for them. And if you want more of this, I can't stress enough, patreon.com/remember the game. I'm not just asking you to give me money for nothing, okay? It starts at $3 a month. There's over 300 expansion passes. There's almost 300 game patches. There's over I think we're at about 150 Purple Monkey Dishwashers, and there's got to be at least 200 rambling idiots over there. Plus, Remember the Game, 100% ad-free, all 374 episodes and counting with timestamps. You can skip around. Plus, you can vote on the games we cover. The Royal Rum Poll is running all through May, and I highly recommend taking part in that. It's a great time, and you help me pay my bills, and we donate some of it to charity, and it's just good times all around. It's patreon.com/remember the game if you're interested in that. Leave us a good review. I usually plug my Twitch, but admittedly, I play hockey 3 nights a week, and I've been watching the Habs play hockey 3 nights a week, so I haven't had much time to get on Twitch lately, but if you want to go, it's free to just throw me a follow or whatever the free one is over there. I think it's follow. Remember the Game, not remember. Remember the Game on Twitch, and then you'll know when and if I ever get on there. I like to get on there and play NES sometimes. I'm working on a Battletoads run right now. I just haven't had much time to get on there. And I think that's it. I'm going to do my shout outs and get out of here because I'm so high on this Benadryl right now. I feel like I'm floating. So I'm going to shut this down. Thank you so much for listening, everybody. And you know what? Again, I really hope I did this episode justice. Like I really do enjoy talking Pokemon, but like it's the same as trying to talk Star Wars or wrestling or anything with a really passionate fan base. The passion is what makes the fan base so great, but the passion is also one of the worst things about the fan base sometimes. I hope I didn't I don't know. I hope you enjoyed this, okay? Because I like Pokemon and I like these games. I didn't like them as much as I don't think I liked them quite as much as Red, Blue, Yellow. It's probably nostalgia talking, but I did really like them. I hope you enjoyed this as well. This is definitely my third favorite generation after Gen 2 and Gen 1. So just be kind to me, okay? And we'll do some more Pokemon at some point down the road. I don't know. It won't be 200 episodes again. We'll find time to sneak another Pokemon game in, all right? Next week, I'm not 100% sure on this, but I think it's going to be the Adventure Island trilogy for the NES. I've been wanting to cover those for a long time. So I think that's what we're going to do next week. And tomorrow, if you're a Patreon, come back. My Mouse PI for Hire review will be up on Expansion Pass. All right. Thank you, some Patriots. Getting out of here. Appreciate all of you listening. Thanks so much. Leave us a good review if you liked it. Talk to you on the next one. Cheers. So long. Goodbye. Remember the Game is brought to you by our Patreons. I couldn't puke up all the content I churn out of a week without all of your support. The following people are at the senior executive vice president level or higher at patreon.com/rememberthegame. And as such, I'm contractually obligated to rip through their names as quickly as I possibly can. So a huge thank you to Remember the Game Hall of Famer Slick Motherfucking Rick, Makeshift Mellow Magic Money, Sharonic, Jane Nasty 15, Jort King Keegs, Dissect That Dan, Chris Fleury, Andrew Wright, Jordan, Ellis Millennial, Lil Bunny Fufu 89, Angry Ticks, Dave Thompson, No One Cares, Scott Brooks, Aaron Lawson, JSK Fusick, Morgan, Zane Donovan, Ryan Kinchin, Mike Maloney, G9PSX, Wolfgang Darren, Andy Hudson, Doogie, Wolf Magic 21, Johnny from Virginia, Squint, Steen Donian, Titan 420, Jeff Bergeron, Randy Barrage, Just a Fish, Thrill Ho, not Hole, Thrill Ho, well, Thrill Hole could be fun. Thrill Ho, Holmes, Zach Shepard, Captain Black Silver, 333, Chunker 22, Elijah Burns, Discount Psyop, It's That Nerd James, Madam Nutsich, DBXJ, Jamil Williams, Steve Dalk, Standard S. Brian, Mizuru, Juris Dr. Mario, Tyler, Phil Lencher, Joe the Sandman, Northern, Biddy, Growlywog, Beaver Boy, Thomas Smith, Leroy Westrich, Rush's Dog Walker, Stud Steel Smash, Matt Babineau, Gabe, Fuzzy99, Decoy Man, a dude named Adam, Wyatt the Surgeon who isn't a surgeon, Roe, Blaine the Hoagie Man, Scary Terry, Storm Beagle, Archangel Otaku, Earl, Hagel Waffle, Jimothy, Oroku Saki's Gardener, General Fury, Modern Major General, Max Legroom, James L. Francesco, John of the Adult Children Podcast, Drugs Bud, okay, Sam Carpenter, Donnie the Dude Walter, Isaias, Hits Meals, Timmy the Exuberant Turtle, Caveman Lance, Christian Gabriel, Maverick Marty, Musty Beetle, Graham Kennedy, Timothy Sabrinsky, My Left Nut, Beef Dingleberry, Quiet Place Queen, Christopher Britt, Zamatos, Big the Cat, Tadpole, Lugnut, T-Bear 87, Maverick, Brandon DeZeba, Kia Pup, Monster SD Boner, AB Killen Works For Me, Cyber Hooli, Mild Oatmeal, Ted Explosion, Ryan Perry, Please Refrain From Tasting the Knob, Scotty J, Just Car Prank, Zombie Exy, Bartman Forever, Darth Skywalter, Postman, Nick Creature, Adam Arnett, The Big Deal, Ryan 4664, Kevin Monroe, Can't Destroy Her, Pee-wee Squitters, Nordak, Lord Palmerston, Fears of War, Because 19, Infinity Rage, Marcus Mendoza, Lord Long Rob Von Hugendom II, Roger Staubach's Pool Cleaner, Lucas Shaman, Frosty Bear, Sour Goat Face, Faded Sufferance, Chris Hill is scared, that could be anyone's ass. B Money, Penguin Milk, Fallen Snow Kiku, The Supreme Chozo Rizzo, you son of a bitch, why? Tell me why. E-Man Trucker, Eddie D19, Mark Sneed, Christopher Lee Williams, Agent Booty Pants, Shoeboxers, Adam Blank still hasn't reviewed Mario Galaxy, Jay Callahan, Robbie Air, Brian Richmond, Blobby, Smith, Pula, Too Much Karma, Mopey36, Cesar, Filling My Mouth with Farts, Liquor Like Luigi, Cody Thompson, J.R. Bob Dobbs, Mr. Scorpion, Mr. Jabroni, Big Daddy Randall, Ida Yellow, Yes, This Rocks, Flinny123, Lotus, A Fridge Too Far, Toby O.P., Scotty McGee, Alex McIntyre, Spider Cat, Muffin Man Jr., Adam Blank still has reviewed Crash Team Racing, Eric Hopewell, Darbles, Generic Name 238, Newman, David Schroeder, Moncal, Diablo Spartan, McCracken, Wilco, VOS Rager, Derek Karen, Brother Retro, Conebread, Ocarina of Tim Rocks, Daniel Cook, you heard about Pluto, Desiraith, Super Cyan, Safarioth, Savage Boosh, Hello Mr. Thompson, MacGyver 88, Travis Sanders, Lord Salazar, Flater Flav, Erotic Onion Ring, Captain Asbury Juice, Doogie Bowser MD, Topher Love, Thunder Leaps, Legendberry, Jinxie 425, Akiris Network, Horror Wars Podcast, Jeff Leopard, Rob Lindsay, Game Boy Gannon, Fancy Store-Bought Dirt, Steaming Wooly, Botsfucker, Mikey Hag, Shane's World, Devin Collins, Cannon Fodder Games, Exotic Chaotic, Just James, Spooky Dookie, Frank Preeves, The Okayest of Muffins, Landon Turquoise, Siegfried, Handsome Major Angus McZongo Esquire, Dixon Miaz, Sailor Man 82, Jonathan Breyer, Redline Arrow Drones, George Swan, The $100 Kid Ted Michaels, Chris Nethercutt, Jerry Jabobelson, Carl Not Garl, Amanda Hugginkiss, Starkey Frost 11, Queer Al Yankee Dick, Self High 5, Adam is Not Patrick Waugh, Proud Slurm Addict, Cody Donaldson, Better Mousetrap Guitars, The Maritime Musician, Miles P. Pants Davis, Jason Hosh, Rezkid 93, Michael Barjudana, and I am Mr. Carlos. That wasn't a horrible batch. I did it. I made it. Holy fuck, am I high on Benadryl. Woo-hoo. I'm going to go have a nap. Take it easy, everybody. Thanks for listening. See you later.